Good afternoon, friends, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to this very important and very timely discussion on freedom of religious practices, an issue today which engages those of us of all faiths. All of us are aware of the issues today which confront all of us in trying to determine how we continue to practice freely our faiths in light of certain issues arising legislatively in countries around the world. We in the Jewish world are certainly well aware of attempts in Europe and in the United States to try to circumscribe our practice of Brit Milah, of ritual circumcision, and of Shrita, of ritual slaughter, as a way of preventing us from practicing freely rituals which are at the bedrock of our Jewish faith. But what happens to us, of course, happens to other faiths as well. As an aside, for those of us who are aware of Jewish history, we understand that throughout history, attempts to prevent these two deep rights of our faith from occurring are nothing new. But that they happen in the 21st century catches us all in a way that I think causes us a great concern. We know, as I say, that what impacts us impacts other communities as well. And so we focus this afternoon on concerns which impact the freedom of religious practices within the societies in which we live. How do we both understand what's happening, and how do we confront those issues which arise when governments and others seek to prohibit the practice freely of religious faith? To help us understand and grapple with these issues, we are honored to have this very distinguished panel of religious leaders with us. I will introduce our panelists in the order in which they will speak. Then each of our distinguished panelists will present a short paper to us, and then we will have a discussion, as always, with questions from the floor as you will. First to present will be His Eminence Cardinal Peter Erdu, who is the Archbishop of Esztergom, Budapest, and the Primate of Hungary. He's the President of the Council of Bishops Conference of Europe. Archbishop Erdu was born here in Budapest and studied at seminaries here in Hungary and at the Pontifical Lateran University in Rome, where he earned a doctorate in theology and canon law. He, of course, was a vicar here in Hungary, and as well as serving as professor of theology, guest lecturer at several foreign universities. In 1988, he began teaching theology at Pazmany Peter Catholic University, serving as rector there, and from 2005 on has been the great chancellor of the university. It is an honor to have Cardinal Erdu with us today. Rabbi Yaakov Bleich was born in Brooklyn, New York. That's why he speaks Ukrainian so well. He studied at yeshivot in New York and in Chicago, and was ordained from Karl and Stolin Rabbinical Institute in New York after studying, of course, in Jerusalem. In 1989, Rabbi Bleich and his wife moved to Kiev, and in 1990, he was appointed Chief Rabbi of Kiev and Ukraine. He has served in that post ever since. Rabbi Bleich has been instrumental in founding the Kiev Jewish Community, the Union of Jewish Religious Organizations of Ukraine, the first full Jewish day school in Ukraine, the first legal Jewish orphanage and boarding school, and the Chesed Avot Welfare Society, and other institutions in Ukraine. As those of us here in the World Jewish Congress know, Rabbi Bleich also serves as a vice president of the European Jewish Congress. Professor Din Shamsuddin, I'm going to pronounce that correctly. Din Shamsuddin is professor of Islamic political thought at State Islamic University in Jakarta. He is president of Muhammadiyah, the second largest Islamic organization in Indonesia with 29 million members, almost as many as we have in the Jewish community. He is president of the Asian Conference on Religion and Peace, an honorary president of the World Conference on Religion and Peace, and vice secretary general of the World Islamic People's Leadership. While he was born in Indonesia, his higher education was in the United States, and he has a master's and doctorate from the University of California, California in Los Angeles. I want to mention that as president and moderator of the Asian Conference on Religion for Peace, Professor Shamsuddin has tried very much in his work to reanimate the Asian religion and cultural heritage, to preserve human dignity and promote justice and peace in the Asia-Pacific region. He is chair of the Palestine-Indonesia Friendship Initiative and has done marvelous work in the area of interfaith relations. It's an honor to have our panelists with us today, and I turn now to His Eminence Cardinal Erdu to begin our discussion.